it's Michelle Taylor Willis, and thanks again for tuning in to According. Hey guys, it's Michelle Taylor. It's Michelle Taylor Willis back at you. You're watching According to Michelle. Hey guys, it's Michelle Taylor Willis here with another episode of According to Michelle. And first and foremost, you've got to check out this place where I am right now. It's called Eleanor's Place. And I don't know who Eleanor is, but I do know who Jennifer Morgan is. She's a dear friend of mine, and she has opened her space up to letting me shoot here. And if you are a woman and you have a business and you need somewhere to work, then this is your place. I mean, this spot is so well appointed. It is beautiful, and you feel like royalty every time you walk in. So thank you so much to Eleanor's Place for having us. If you need somewhere to go, you gotta go here. But let me tell you something that might be just a teeny bit better than Eleanor's Place. The person that's in Eleanor's Place right now, and that would be my friend, my branding expert, my brand strategist, and he should be your brand strategist, Nick Nelson, the founder and the owner of Brand-Prenuer. Nick, this is where we clap, and if we were on the radio, it'd be like, you clapping for yourself?
Wonderful. I'm clapping because you asked me to clap.
Oh, well. I think I was clapping on my own. I don't think I needed you to clap necessarily.
That's fine. That's fine. Whatever you do, I'll do.
You know, we're 6 feet away.
Yeah.
So you could take the
I can take the mask off?
You can take the mask off.
Okay. I'm just trying to be safe. I'm just trying to be safe and shit. And I'm trying to promo also. You know it says Brand-Prenuer.
He's a branding expert.
You know it says Brand-Prenuer, so you know I'm trying to promo. Okay.
Hey, listen, it's COVID, right?
And it is COVID. Hard. Right, I don't want no problems.
We don't want no problems. And listen, what's crazy is that I was having a discussion with somebody, right? That COVID, this pandemic, has like been the best and the worst time of all, right?
There are blessings that have come from COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, a truckload of them.
Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Please, you never let it go. That's what you learn. You never let a good crisis go to waste.
That's right.
You always embrace it.
That's
right?
exactly right.
You lean in.
Lean in. What is that?
In.
Rachel Maddow?
Lean in.
So tell me, what have you learned through this crisis?
What I've learned through the crisis is that I've been doing it all wrong.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Because it looked like you were doing it pretty right.
No, I've been doing it all wrong. Sis, the thing that I've learned is that I've been working harder and not smarter. Right. So a lot of what I did prior to COVID was face-to-face. I'd say 80%, if not 90%, was face-to-face, right? COVID came and I had to switch it all the way around.
Right.
And I learned that I didn't have to be face-to-face with people. Matter of fact, there are other things that I can sell and sell them at a price and with less overhead, where it's primarily just me or me and a few people, and make more. In March, when COVID first hit, that was one of my biggest months ever.
Wow.
From a revenue standpoint.
Why is that?
Because I moved everything online. And I came up, when you're dealing with sales, right? Sales is all about identifying what product are you selling. Right? It's either you're selling a product or you're selling a service or you're selling your insights. For this, I was like, okay, I have to sell something. I have to sell a new product. My main product, I couldn't do it anymore, right? Because my main product was face-to-face.
So let me back up. Let's stop for a second. Tell people what your main product was.
So my main product, what I'm known for, is what I call Brand Day product. Brand Day is where I take an individual and within the course of a day, I transform them. It's almost like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy meets any sort of home improvement show you've ever thought about. It's taking an individual and you are literally transforming them and you are turning them into a brand in one day. And that's what I would do, right? But a lot of that was face-to-face. A lot of it was face-to-face. And I couldn't do face-to-face anymore. And so I had to really transform it. And I looked, I said, as anybody would, any marketer would, okay, what is it that I can sell now based off of where we are. And I came up with a concept called Brand Day. Brand Line. Brand Line basically is a concept. I'm Greek, I'm Alpha, and it's basically based off of pledging. So you are pledging, right? You're pledging a line, right? But it's different because you are pledging now to become a brand, right? It's membership intake because we don't pledge anymore.
That's right.
Right. It's membership.
We're all non-hazing organizations.
We're non-hazing. We're non-hazing.
organizations.
But it's membership intake because there are specific rituals that we have. There are specific things you
and
have
you got to apply to get in, right? Everybody just can't jump online.
Everybody can't be in.
Right.
Everybody can't go, right? So you have to apply to be in. And lo and behold, people bought into it, right? The concept of it. And so that started that. And now I say about 70% of my business is online. Whether it be from training, coaching, things of that nature. But it's all about how you now reinvent. It's all about reinvention. That's what I've learned, is that continuously as an entrepreneur, you have to reinvent.
Right.
But when you look at any celebrity that has stood the test of time, whether it's a Diddy, whether it's an LL Cool J, whether it's a Ludacris, right? These cats.
Snoop Dogg. He's like 85.
I promise you he is. He is. He's older than that. But he has reinvented himself over and over again. It's all about the process of reinvention.
And pivoting and just like micro moves and knowing when to make those micro moves.
And you got to know when to make them.
The major moves.
A lot of it is timing.
Right.
A lot of it is timing. You got to understand when is the right time, right? But it is constantly reinventing yourself.
Right.
And it's the reinvention that you stay in the game and you achieve success.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because you've been in this game, so to speak. And when I say this game, I mean putting people and making them look good on camera for a very long time. You didn't start as the Brand-Prenuer, right?
Actually, I haven't been doing it a long time, Michelle.
I know. Well, I mean, like Liquid Soul days and
like literally, I didn't learn how to even work a camera until like 2016.
Wow.
2016, and I did it based off of, I was just, bored, and I wanted to be creative. And I'm managing an agency, and we're doing well, but it's kind of like after you get to such a level, it's like you're not doing any of the creative stuff anymore.
So what was happening before 2016?
So before 2016, served as chief marketing officer for Liquid Soul and doing a lot of film and television strategy stuff, but a lot of it was I'm managing people, managing clients. There was nothing creative about it. And I felt a gap there. And it was a gap. I've always been creative my entire life.
Right.
My entire life.
Like, what was something creative you remember as a child that you did?
So I remember when I got my first keyboard, right? My pops gave me my first keyboard. It was a Casio keyboard. And about 3 or 4 days later, I created my first song called Love Is You.
How did it go? Sing it.
Love is you. I mean, like literally, it was just a hook. It was like a hook. I might as well have been a Shantae or like one of them cats, right? It was nothing but a hook.
4 bars. It was 4 bars.
It was about 4 or 5 bars, but it was a song, right?
How old were you?
Man, I had to be like 12 or 13, like literally.
Okay.
But I found a love for it, and he kept on buying me equipment. So my dad. So I had a Casio, like literally, I had a rolling keyboard. I had a quantizer, like beat machine. I mean, like I was like by the time I was in high school, I was like producing, with samples and stuff like that, and like everything. Like I was a music producer, but I've always been creative, and to not have that, I didn't know what that felt like. And as I got higher in terms of just executiveness.
Right.
I lost that.
But so let me ask you a question, because this happens to a lot of people, right? How do you end up knowing what your passion is and where you feel like you belong into this executiveness, as you call it, right? And where you have a great corporate life or a great life, but there's that gap, there's that miss, as you call it, right?
Yeah.
How do you skip over that gap and end up somewhere where you feel like you shouldn't be?
You do it because you feel like you're supposed to, right? I felt like I was supposed to be a certain way. I felt like, okay, after a certain way, after a certain while, you've elevated. And with that elevation and people honoring you and saying, oh, yes, you're this and you're that and you're this, some of that stuff is beneath you now. It's just beneath me now. I'm beyond that, right? But it never left me. And I never felt that way because even though I was, this award and that award in terms of just acknowledgement, there was something that was missing. And the missing piece was the creativity. And the thing that really changed everything for me is my father passed away in 2013. And I'm at his funeral. And everybody was saying, hey, man, your dad has such an impact. He has such an impact because he was a college professor at Ohio State University and taught political science. And he really helped a lot of people become PhDs, especially people of color. And so these people, they came back like literally for his funeral. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I want to make a difference.
You felt like you hadn't up to then?
I felt like I had. I felt like I'd made progress, made some money, but I hadn't made a difference. I hadn't impacted people's lives.
What did that feel like in that moment? You're at the funeral, you're hearing all these people. Like, what's one word you would use to describe that feeling?
Phony.
Wow.
It felt like I was a phony. It felt like I was using my powers, right? Because I really feel like I have powers. I was using my powers, but I wasn't using them for good. I was using them in a very selfish way, right? The only person that I was helping was myself. And I said, you know what? I want to do something different and I want to have impact. And when I close my eyes one day, I want to have people to be like, you know what? And tell my son, man, your dad changed my life, right? Because hearing that from other people, it gave me a whole new respect for my father, right? And so I was like, all right, I want to impact people. But it became, how do I do that? And so I landed at personal branding and I landed, at imagery. And, I just kind of figured it out, right, along the way. Like, literally, what Brand-Prenuer is today is not what Brand-Prenuer started off with.
But what did it start off with?
It started a headshot company. I'm just doing headshots.
There's nothing wrong with that, right?
There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it, right? Right? My whole thing here is
progression.
It's progression and perfect your craft, right? Let me tell you something. I got my first camera. I did everything with my family. And I was like, okay, this is cool. I think I got a hang of it, right? And I wanted to challenge myself. And I was like, well, you know what? I want to do lighting and strobe lighting and, and I would watch these cats on YouTube. Everything I learned, Michelle, I promise you.
YouTube University is, oh, wow.
I learned from watching these white boys on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like these bloggers and vloggers and stuff like that. They are amazing and they are doing incredible stuff. And I was like, I spent a year just watching them. Whatever gear they got, I got, right? And how they used it, that's how I used it. And I watched them and I watched their storytelling. And I was like, okay, there's no other cat professionally that's doing this.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to do it. We are at a point where people are voyeuristic and you have to put yourself out there if you want to sell.
Right.
And if you want to, and you have the opportunity to craft a narrative about yourself, right? Far too often, many people just say, you know what, well, I'm going to just, they let other people create the narrative of them. Whatever other people say,
right.
Whatever other people promote, right? No, hell no. No, you have the opportunity to create that.
Yes.
And so I'm like, all right, well, you know what? If I have the opportunity, I'm gonna create my own narrative. I am going to reinvent, right? I went from Nick F. Nelson and I turned myself into the Brand-Prenuer, right?
And let me tell you something. It works so well that when I ask people, and I'm not kidding, when I ask people who Nick Nelson is, they're like, yeah, I don't think I know that guy. And I'll say, oh, well, he has a company called the Brand-Prenuer. And they're like, oh, yeah, I know that guy. I see him on LinkedIn. I see him on Instagram. Like, they don't even know his real name. Like, that's fantastic.
The thing about it, I saw this, though, in marketing. In marketing and entertainment, I used to pay people top dollar, influencers, right? And they would craft their narrative, right? I didn't know whether or not they had experience in it or not. All I knew was they had personality, a
And
following,
followers.
charisma, or et cetera.
Sure.
And it became their asset.
Yeah.
And I saw no other professional person doing this. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to create a personality. And I just created it, like literally. And it's not like I'm that person when I go to bed each night. Let me be clear. It's not a phony. There's a piece of me there.
Sure.
But it's different. You know what I mean? And I understand that people pay for experiences. People pay for personality. People pay for expertise. I said, I'll be damned. I'm going to throw all of them in one package. And that's what I did.
So you just did it. So let me ask you this, because what do you feel like from an entrepreneurial standpoint, right? What's the biggest difference between, from your perspective, running your own business, starting it from scratch, and working for somebody else? Like the real, not like the obvious, right? Like, well, you get to break your own hours and what is the real difference?
A sense of ownership. It's ownership. Everything is on you. But the biggest difference is there is no limit. There really is no limit. You know what? I can make this company as big as I want to. There's nobody saying and telling me, well, you know what, Nick, based off of your performance, this is what I feel you're worth. I create my worth. Literally, you have the opportunity to create your worth. Nobody is defining your worth for you based off of performance. You're creating it based off of perception. That's the difference.
I'd agree with that. And it's interesting that you say that because, excuse me, I feel the same way, especially in the sense where you can be as big or small
Correct.
as you want to be, right?
Yeah.
I know for me, as a mom, a wife, I got 4 kids, right now, it doesn't suit me to have $1 billion company, right? Because I need to be able to be as flexible and nimble and be able to move as much as I want to or like to. But still, I want to make enough money that I can kind of live the lifestyle I want. And you, as a father, right, a husband and a father of 1 boy, right, you still need that flexibility. But to be able to say, you know what, I think next year I'm going to grow the company by 20%. Or, you know what, I'm just going to keep it easy right now and even because this is comfortable for me and I can still do all the things I want to do and have the money I need. But to your point, the flexibility to be able to say what your sales goals are and not be told.
Correct.
Right? What they have to be is it's quite an empowering thing.
It is. And I tell people all the time, I say, you know what? I will give myself my own 2 weeks notice. I promise you I will. Yeah. I will give my own self my own. I'm like, okay, well, Nick, you're fired, right? like literally.
Yeah.
But as an entrepreneur, you have the opportunity to take control, and that's what I often see with people who are in corporate America. Many of them, they wish they just had control, and as scary as control is, and as hard as it is, and as complicated as it can be, it's empowering because for oftentimes, especially as us as a people, we haven't had control. We just haven't had control. Like, we lost John Lewis not too long ago. He fought so that we could have some sort of control.
Right.
And we just never had it. And in America, one of the things that evens out the playing field is economics. And economics is control. People look at green before they look at any other color. And so if you are able to take control and do enough to support yourself and your family, have impact, you now have a seat at the table, and you didn't even ask for one.
Right. So you mentioned we as a people. Where do you think the biggest miss for us is right now, and how do we begin to control our own narrative?
So the biggest miss for us now is it feels, and this is just it feels that we are not mastering our craft. We're not mastering stuff. So especially with our younger generation, the social media makes it easy to create a perception around something. But you can't be Google smart, right? You got to have experience, like little experience.
Sure.
And I feel that far too often we are crafting the art of perception, but we're not
real. We're
not
kind of
being,
like these.
we're not being excellent in our craft, right? And excellence is something that cannot be denied. When you look at some of the greatest African Americans of all time, like Muhammad Ali is my spirit animal. And the reason why Ali is my spirit animal is because he knew he was the greatest.
Before he ever knew he was. He said that, as you know. I told myself I was the best before I ever knew I was.
Before I ever knew I was. And there's something about that, believing that you are the best. Like I tell myself, I'm the greatest. I'm the best. There can't nobody smoke me. Not even your son with his 3-point lighting.
Don't tell him that.
I know.
Because guess what he tells himself every day?
He's the greatest.
He's the greatest.
But that's good. He's supposed to.
Absolutely.
He's supposed to.
Absolutely.
Because if you wake up and you feel that, people had to prove you wrong.
That's exactly right.
People had to prove you wrong.
Yourself.
Including yourself.
I tell people that you should say that, especially when you don't feel it. When you feel your worst. Listen, I wake up out of bed sometimes and I'm like, okay, Michelle, you're the best. What do you do? You're the best.
Like, I ain't feeling it today.
Like, I know, I'm not feeling it today. But by the time I say that enough, it's like all of a sudden I'm at that computer, like, crafting a bomb deal, right? The best time to tell yourself you're the best is when you feel like you're the worst.
When you feel the worst.
Feel the worst.
Right. You have to learn how to cheerlead your own self, Michelle.
Right. So what is a message that you would give to somebody who's a budding entrepreneur or who's been in the game for a minute and is like, I think I'm out. I'm done.
The message I would say is that's fine to feel that way. It's not fine to stay that way, right? It's fine to feel that way because this is life. And the way the game works is you're going to feel defeated some days,
Sure.
right? There have been, like, in my entrepreneurial journey, I have interviewed for other jobs. Let's be clear.
Your fingers crossed like, come on, God.
I have. I promise. I've been like, damn this. I'm gonna go back to corporate America. I'm serious.
I get it.
I'm serious. And for some reason, I never got the position, right? And I understand why. Because I wasn't supposed to. But it's not because the human aspect of me didn't say, you know what, damn this, I'm over it.
I'm not doing this anymore.
I ain't doing this no more. I want to find that good job where I just show up. That's it.
Yeah.
But there's more work that I have to do. And so, there's nothing wrong. Don't beat yourself up for feeling that way. Everybody has felt that way who's, been an entrepreneur, has had the burden of trying to, meet payroll and meet staff and all. I mean, it's a thing, right? That's why a lot of people don't do it. But the reward that comes out of it, man, you just can't beat it. You can't beat it. My son, all he's known, he's 12 now. He'll be 13 this year. The only thing he's ever known is his father. He grew up with a black president.
That they're winning until we're going to be past this or in a different space. They'll go, oh, well, that wasn't so bad.
Not so bad.
Okay, so now it's time for one of my favorite new games. I came up with it on the last show, and it went over so well. I figured I would play it with my buddy Nick Nelson here.
What's the game?
The game is, and Nick Nelson is the Brand-Prenuer for those of you who do not know. You gotta know. So the game is called Connect the Words.
Okay.
That's where it's like, connect the words.
All right, I got you.
So I'm gonna give you a word, and you're going to give me back a word that you associate with the word I gave you.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll do like a practice round, okay?
All right.
Jar.
Jar. Liquor.
Well, apparently he gets the game first. Okay. Practice round is over. And I love the way he thinks. Okay. So, lighting.
3-point.
Every time we do this game, it's winning twice, but I always end up laughing because, all right, I like that. 3-point lighting, I'll take it. Camera.
Shy.
Experience.
Confidence.
Sun with an O.
Joy.
Brand.
Preneur.
Oh, he did it. I knew he was going to do it. I am so close. I was going to take that way and write it home. I didn't listen. This is totally unscripted. I did not try to do this. It just worked that way. Nick Nelson, Brand-Prenuer, brand strategist extraordinaire. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Michelle.
I know that my audience has enjoyed you and that they have learned a lot.
And we enjoy Michelle also. Michelle is phenomenal. She's amazing. She is remarkable. And she is from Soul Food.
Oh my gosh, this is a man after my own heart. It's really taken off, You're going to start seeing this in a lot of different places.
I know.
It's crazy. It is crazy. The first time I said soul food, somebody was like, that's stupid. It sounds like soul food. And I was like, even better. People will gravitate towards it.
Well, that was me, right?
It wasn't you.
Oh, okay.
But did you say that?
I think
you probably did.
I did.
I don't think you said that's stupid.
I didn't, but I said it sounded like, I said it sounded like soul food, though. It made me hungry, but that's fine.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of According to Michelle. Stay tuned, and we will be right back.
It's here where we appreciate the little things. Like fun. It's here where we are reminded to appreciate friends. It's the little things that matter most. The city of South Fulton. More lives here.
Hey guys, it's Michelle Taylor Willis, and I am always trying to do something different for you. Of course, not for me, because, it's all for you. Even though it's According to Michelle, it's about you. So it's another episode of According to Michelle, and I am back at the Anguish Barber in beautiful downtown or midtown Atlanta with one of my favorite, I know I have a lot of favorites, but I got lots of kids. When you got lots of kids, you gotta have a lot of favorites, right? But one of my favorite mixologists in the whole wide world, Mika. And Mika is literally the lead bartender here. Are you the only bartender here? She's the lead and the only bartender here, but I think bartender is an understatement for what she does. But I'm so thankful because she's allowed me into her home, so to speak. As you guys know, we shoot here a lot, but I never have been able to get behind that place. And today, that's where I'm going, but not before we learn a little bit about this incredible mixologist. I feel like you should have your own school. Like, you should teach people how to make great drinks because you do it like no other, right?
I've been, I'm doing okay, but there's so many great bartenders in the world, and they have got much more skill than I do. I mean, I totally teach what I know, but there's so many great bartenders around. So, I'm just I'm just trying to be a one-on, but I want to provide the best product that I can. This is like part of the hospitality.
Right.
I do. Like even if the guests order me for vodka and soda, but I do the best vodka soda. You know what I mean? It's just like you can tell the differences.
Right.
The ice that we're using, sparkling water, or the carbonation that we're using, and the vodka and so on. It's just all the part of presentation, hospitality, yada yada. But I want you to know, I want you to experience, that's the best vodka soda ever. Or,
Right. Yeah, because you think vodka soda, and I've had your vodka soda, and you think it's just vodka and it's soda.
Right.
But you're right. I never thought about that, even down to the ice, like the water that makes the ice, because it's going to melt in, so it's going to give a different flavor than what. I never even thought about all that stuff. See, that's why you're so good at what you do. Okay, so did you come out of the womb like, wah, I'm going to be a bartender? Or how did you just?
So I always been a service industry as far as the restaurant. I did a prep cook to being a server. But so to learn how to bartend was a natural process.
Yeah.
One day I scored voucher for cocktail class. Bartending.
Oh, got it. So you got a voucher for bartending.
Yeah, bartending. Okay. It was on 5 days, but they teach you from all the basics.
Now, were you in Atlanta at that time?
Yeah, there's several bartending schools, but I learned more behind the bar because a lot of bartenders either started from the bar back. So after I went to bartending class, and luckily I found a job as a bartender straight. So that was a cafe intermezzo.
Gotcha.
And it used to be one.
So you worked at Cafe Intermezzo?
Yeah, there used to be one in the downtown.
Got you.
Yeah.
And it's funny now that you work me because we're on the backside of the Lowe's, right? And the Cafe Intermezzo is right there. So.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's the one that's in downtown, they already closed down, but they still have sort of a similar menu. As far as drink-wise, that reminisce. It's I did it not just bartending, but also I did a little bit of barista, making coffee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then after that I got a job at Lure. It's a seafood restaurant.
Oh, Lure, yeah.
I was chosen to be one of the opening bartender, luckily. But I learned so much. I was there for about 6 years. I learned so much. I learned all the basics I know from Lure.
So let me ask you this, because when I hear you talking, I feel like, you have this mindset of excellence, right? You're like, if you're getting a vodka soda, I want you to have the best vodka soda.
Being bartender, after 3-4 years, usually it kind of gets tired of it, right?
Why do you say that? Just
because pretty much some bar they don't change much
right.
As far as the menu, or so they do every the same thing every day,
right.
And then get bored about it, that's why I like craft bartending, because there's always something I can create.
Right.
Besides, I truly enjoy talking to the guests and have good time. And but also I'm really like passionate making come up with something, like
Right.
some fun cocktails.
Right.
With using fresh ingredients. We try to go to the market and I found something, cool, like fruits, or maybe I can do something with that. Or,
Right. When you're like walking around the farmer's market, you see some kind of weird fruit.
I do.
You're just like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I could make something out of you, weird shaped fruit.
Yeah, I really like. I watch a lot of cooking shows, and they those chefs they're trying to challenge, using like exotic ingredients, and like maybe that I can use some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so how do you call it? It's a creativity. Like being creative, it's really unlimited. It's always it's never a dull moment behind the bar to me. It's always a challenge. Like
Right.
I just enjoyed it. I mean, as people can see, like I'm making cocktails. I'm not on zone, but like I'm really like I enjoyed it.
Well, it's because you're a creative, and I think one of the cool things about you, and it definitely shows, right? It comes out where you enjoy creating and having this space where you can kind of do what you want, but then having somebody love your creation, right? Having somebody enjoying your creation. I bet you love it when somebody comes down and says, I don't know, but I'm a brown liquor girl and I want something sweet. You're like, all right, I got it, right? Now you're like, I'm on.
Yeah.
That's like your camera, right?
Yes. Like it's like there's a menu, but the guests oftentimes like I'm not familiar with all the ingredients.
Right.
But I like rum and such and such. I was like, okay, and I usually ask like, what's your favorite spirit? Like either vodka drinker or gin, whiskey, rum, tequila, and then I go for like, like you want like a little boozy cocktail or you like something refreshing or a combination of both.
Guys, I'm here at the Anguish Barber. I'm talking to Mika, and you can follow her on Instagram at Cocktails by Mika. She makes the most amazing drinks. I wish we had like all day to just sit here and watch her make all kinds of stuff, but unfortunately we don't. So I'm going to cram as much of this in as I can for you guys. So you were born in Japan, right?
Yes.
And so how did you end up from Japan to Atlanta? Was Atlanta your first spot?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yes. And I moved here in '97 when I was 21 and at 22 or whatever. And then cause that time I wanted to go somewhere, other country. Then
why? What made you want to leave?
Well, I'm more of I would like adventures. I like to go somewhere. I don't know. I always when I was a kid. I always during the spring break or winter break. I always go I do snow skiing too, but I go mountain myself and stay with my father's friend's place, and it was
snow skiing,
yeah,
huh?
snow
And this
skiing.
back in Japan?
Oh yeah. I grew up basically just skiing every day.
Wow.
There's nothing else to do there, so
You had the life.
until I discover subculture like music.
Yeah, because funk music and 1950s funk and rock is kind of your thing, right?
I love old school music, 50s, 60s. I enjoy 80s, music. I love punk rock.
Yeah.
I like reggae, ska, some old school hip hop. Good music.
So you like music.
It's another.
You like music.
Yeah.
You're a music lover, which is awesome. So, all right, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Why Atlanta?
So I had a choice. I had to pick either LA, New York, Atlanta, because I tried to take an English class first.
Got you.
But the tuition, Atlanta was the cheapest, and then, and then also living expenses.
Oh, yeah. I mean, between LA, New York,
Yeah.
Chicago, Atlanta is the cheapest big city.
Yeah,
right?
but then I actually visited all three cities.
You
and,
did?
Yeah. So the '97, so the right after Olympics. So the city was the most. It's new buildings and new. It was basically beautiful. To me, it looked better than New York or LA.
Atlanta did.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
what was the toughest part for you when you decided you're going to move to Atlanta?
Because it's most of it. The biggest problem for me was the culture difference.
Right.
Yeah, it's just
So like, what were some of the big culture things, the differences?
Shoot. Like the good example is that the Japanese people don't want to wait. For example, like when the first time I went to post office and I had to buy a stamp or whatever, but there's a line and I had to wait like 10 minutes and then it's like, oh, this is crazy. Like, I think Japanese are one of the most impatient people.
Oh, you know what? That's good to know.
Mm-hmm. Super impatient.
Very impatient people. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a culture. People in Japan, they trying to go like.
So New York might have been a good spot for you.
Yeah, but then I'm glad I didn't pick because then I probably already burnt out.
Right. Right.
Like the reason why I like Atlanta because it's being in the South, it's more laid back here. And they're like hospitality again, like people are like very sweet and I
Theoretically, yeah.
I totally can wait like 10 minutes, no problem.
It's no problem,
no
right?
problem. I'm very patient, but not right now. But so that was the part of it. One of the thing, and also language too, because I didn't speak any of it when I was when I came here.
Right, because you wanted to try to take classes, but that didn't work out. So then you came not knowing the language at all.
Yeah, and plus like the southern accents, it's really challenging them to learn the first. So it took me a while. I'm still studying it, but it was hard.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think it took you to at least get it down to where you were conversational and it didn't impede you being able to get things done?
I'm still not good at it, I think.
Yes, you are. What are you talking about?
But it took probably 3 years to first year, and it kind of basic. But I feel start comfortable a little bit after 3 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to watch movies with the caption on, so that I.
That's one of the best ways they say, right? To watch movies in the language, or watch TV in the language, and then to just immerse yourself in it, right? Yeah, I speak French. And whenever I want to brush up on my French, and I do the same thing with my kids, like I will just make them watch stuff in French and we'll put on subtitles. And that's just how you learn. So you did the right things, right?
It's a great way to learn. The present, it's ongoing, what it is, the vocabulary or the way that people talk. It's it's a present language, right? So.
And I think too, I think when we're learning different things and learning different languages, it makes us more engaged and it makes us more sincere because we have to pay attention. Like you really had to pay attention to your friends or to, your work associates, wherever you were going, in order to really understand.
Yeah.
So it probably made you a better employee, made you a better, friend, made you a better associate, all of those things because you had to pay more attention than I would. Right? It's easy for me to check out of a conversation if I'm talking to someone, but you could never check out.
No. Especially when because I trying to working in a restaurant that directly that affects to your tip too, right? Because you need to know your clients,
right?
Yes. And what they need, what they talking about, So indeed, it's really important. I'm trying to. So there's no big Japanese community in Atlanta. Well, before it was, but anyhow, I get to know a lot of local people and made a friend with and a lot of stuff and then so that helps. It helps.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, so we're here talking to Mika at the English Barber, talking about moving from Japan into Atlanta, of all places, and how she's become a good old Southern peach now that she's here in great state of Georgia. How's that? That's a great accent, right?
Love it.
I'm from Florida. I have no idea about Georgia accents. I've just been living here for 15 years. All right, so you're all sleeved up. I love this. You've got the coolest tattoos.
Thank you.
1, did that hurt? 2, did you do them all at the same time? And 3, show us a couple of your favorites.
Okay, so yeah, tattoo indeed it's painful.
It is painful.
Some people can tolerate, longer when it gets, become tattoo. But I'm kind of like sissy when it comes. So I do like 2-3 hours per session. And my husband, he's a tattooer. And
Your husband does your tattoos?
yes.
Wow.
So he did most of the artwork.
That's dope.
Yeah,
we got to get some close-ups of these if we can.
Yeah, so like I'm kind of doing this side as a black and gray Japanese inspired, and these are like American.
Got you. So it's kind of like both sides of your life, right? The American side of you,
Yes.
the Japanese side of you.
Yes.
Oh, I see what you see. You are a creative,
Yeah.
super creative. And so we mentioned COVID, right? Because I mean, it seems like 2020 has definitely come in with a bang, right? I remember we talk about how people have on their Instagram and their Facebook, they're like 2020 is gonna be my year, and 2020 is gonna be great, and then it's like 2020 is like, yeah, I got something else for you.
Yeah.
So COVID, I know, hit you guys pretty hard in the barn. So now you're back open, which is awesome. Tell our viewers kind of what you guys are doing to make sure that they remain COVID-free when they come in and enjoy one of your craft cocktails.
Yes. So all the guests, upon entering at the door, we do temperature check.
Got it.
And then the hand sanitizing, and then the mask. We're giving away mask. If wearing mask is a must. However, when you sit at the bar and when you drink, of course, you cannot have a drink with the mask. So,
Yeah.
So, but all the employees, we wear masks, face guards, and hand washing.
Yes.
And with hand sanitizer, on the side, and we wash hands at least once in 30 minutes.
Got you. And I know you guys like sanitize the seats too.
Yes.
Like everyone gets
Everything,
Yeah.
yes.
So you guys are on it, which is great. What should people be looking for if they want to go somewhere and get great drinks? Like how do you know you're getting a good cocktail or you're in a good bar?
I definitely recommend to sit at the bar if you find a seat, and then ask bartender all the questions. I love to be asked all the questions that you have. Like some guests, they feel like a little bit intimidated to ask. Please ask. I mean, I love what you recommend, or what I like this and this, but can you do this, stuff like that. I love to be asked, so I love to accommodate. Yeah.
I'm here with Mika at the English Barber, and we're talking about just about everything, but we are about to literally go and make drinks. So I'm so excited because I'm a little bit of a master mixologist myself. So, I mean, I don't tell everybody because, some things I just like to keep for myself, Mika. But now the secret's about to be out. So, okay, let's get behind the bar.
Yes, we're trying to make a kumquat mojito.
Kumquat mojito.
Yes,
right?
perfect summer.
My favorite drink.
Yeah.
I love this. When I come in, this is why I love coming to this place, because they see me walking in, and by the time I'm at the bar, I'm getting a kumquat mojito. I'm like, oh, you like me. You really like me. Okay, all right, what we got?
Okay, so the first, pick key lime. You can use regular limes, but I prefer key lime because it tastes a little bit more creamier.
Got you.
And
they're so tiny.
Yes, isn't that cute?
They're like cute little baby limes.
Yes, and then we put kumquat. It's like a baby orange.
Now, can I get these kumquats at Publix, or would people have to go somewhere?
Maybe you might need to go to farmer's market,
Okay.
or yeah. So what is it? The Beefro Highway has it, and Mercado Fresca is a Mexican supermarket. They have it.
Oh yeah, Mexican soup. Okay, got it.
And then this is a model.
Got it.
Yeah, so press down a little bit to release the juice.
Got you. And that's releasing some of the oils too in the skin, right?
Yes. And then in the shaker, I add the mint, and mint.
That's an inside joke, guys. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
Don't worry about
Mint.
it, sweetheart. Don't
Mint.
worry about it.
So I add probably 5-6 leaves.
Okay.
Yeah, and then let's see, and then these you can model, but I do just you can do spoon, and then just tap a little bit, and then release nice mint
Some
oil.
of the oils.
Not
You want
yeah.
to show this in the?
Yes, nice mint oil. Because if you muddle too much, then it tastes like toothpaste. You don't want that. So,
We don't want that.
right. So just slightly muddle.
Okay.
Then the first. And most importantly, rum. 1.5. And orange liqueur. This is infused with the kumquat.
Got it.
I sous vide them, but you can do simply throw kumquats in and then really sit for overnight or so. You can do
Got it.
that.
So just cut them and put them in orange liquor? And
Yeah.
Just, okay.
Like this, I use Brobo, but you can do it with the Combier, Contro, whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah, and then half.
So half an ounce and then
Yes.
Okay.
And then this is a lime cordial. This is like the mix between lime juice, lime oil, and sugar.
Gotcha.
So all in one. So I
That's
use.
got a little sweet to it.
There you go. And then if you think it's like didn't need a little bit more zing, then you can add extra lime juice.
Just a
Or
little
this,
lime
yeah, lime juice.
For those limers out there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then for ice, first we have to let me put it in stock.
These are some serious. This looks like a medical facility back
Oh,
there.
it is. Yes, it's a medical grade tongue. And then
Lots of ice in the
lots of
shaker.
ice is important because you don't want to water down your cocktail. Put more ice, it's less watered down.
Got
It
you. Because
chills.
this is going to really get this cold.
Yep.
So it won't be such a shock when it hits this.
Mhm.
Got it.
Okay, so then the whole shaker.
Shake.
I like to hold, hold it on the top.
Okay.
Index, middle. Basically that's the shape that I. And then always start it from the chest, around the chest height, and then trying to color. And yeah, here, try that.
Oh, sorry, I was doing a little dance.
Yes. Just trying to throw like this. Yes. Yes.
Shake, 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 shake.
Yeah.
Shake the bottle. No, it's an eye.
Yeah, so the
I feel like when you do it, you're like this.
I like to do it till the outside of shaker is nicely flossed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's cold,
There
right?
really is a method to this madness.
And then I do double strain because there's a mint leaf in it.
Gotcha.
And you don't want that in your drink. So. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, sorry.
And then Topo Chico. Where did I put the Topo Chico?
Oh, Topo Chico. Here.
Got it. So it might find. Thank you so much. And so add some sparkling water on top. And more mint. Tap it to make sure the wrist.
So that's
Nice
really
and
thin.
yeah.
So you don't have to do a lot of manipulation. Just a little bit will release what you need it to, right?
Yeah.
Gentle.
Gentle.
We don't have to be so hard with it. Do you hear that, fellas? Just gentle. Don't have to
Gentle.
destroy the leaves. Just tap the leaves.
Yes.
You're welcome.
And then if you want to cleanse it up a little bit, you can add some powdered sugar on top.
Powdered sugar on top.
So the nice creates a nice snowy.
Gosh, you figured out
Yeah.
everything. All right, now we've got to taste it, right?
Yes.
I got to make sure you are who you say you
It's
are.
like a straw.
Look at this thing. Look at this. This is a Mika's cocktail creation at the English Barber. This is the only place you're going to find her, guys. Right here at this place. And let me tell you how this baby tastes. Make sure my hair is so good because... Oh my gosh. This is great. Can we cut now so I can go finish it? No, we got, okay, all right, sorry.
It's
Okay,
a
look at
perfect
this.
summer drink.
Perfect summer drink, and I love this because people can actually make this at home, right?
Yes,
Awesome.
yes.
And again, guys, this is Mika at the English Barber right here in Midtown, Atlanta. She has given us a great drink that we can make at home. She showed us how we shake the shaker and not shaking it like I was. I mean, I shake the shaker, but it doesn't look like that. We're not shaking, you know what I'm saying? I'm just joking. All right, guys, it's Michelle Taylor Willis. You can find me on socials at Michelle Taylor Willis on just about everything. You know we air this show, according to Michelle. I gotta do it. Sorry. According to Michelle, every Wednesday night at 5 p.m. on the AIB network. That's channel 295 on Comcast, and that's channel AT&T Uverse, channel 6. Thank you so much for tuning in. And guess what's going to happen next time? I have no idea. You guys just got to tune in to find out. I never know what's going to happen on According to Michelle. But until then, we'll see you next time.